guys? Welcome back to my channel. Uh, it's your boy Eclipse, aka Young Tunes, aka Fly Method. Uh, Coming at you with a serious video today. We are talking about a lot of things. Obviously, if you guys have been watching any news, then you watch what happened and to our country. We are living in perilous times. We are living in dangerous times and important times. I just want to be extending a branch of information, of hope and stability and love to people. So during these times, it's not over. I think that these things are gonna propel us to more attacks in terms of America as a whole from different ways. Um, but I'm trying to stay positive and optimistic. Just eyes open, ears open, ready to understand what's going on because the country is in danger right now. It's in a high threat level, and we need to unite, but also protect and you know have come together in a way because it is our future and it is our country. And yes, I might be new here, and I might have not been able to join the FBI or the CIA because you have to have three generations here. But but I do love this country. You know, I believe in God. I believe in myself, and I believe in what this country stands for. Although it's not perfect, it should be working to be better, not backwards. Um, but yeah, so we're just gonna be breaking down some of these videos. Um, I already know. If you haven't learned, then I'll let you know. The shooter was a 20-year-old sorry, Thomas James. No, sorry, Thomas Matthew Crooks. 20-year-old registered Republican, defective Republican, who hated Republicans and thought they were fascists, thought Trump was a fascist, and a gun lover, um, working at a nursing home rather, as a kitchen cook or kitchen person, and very smart, you know, in math and science, and basically just a 20-year-old average kid living with his parents. Well, nothing above average other than his, intelligence. Wasn't very popular. You know, neither with the ladies, I think. Um, but normal in the sense of what I guess what people would accept as normality, and sometimes. Um, so anyway, I'm just gonna be looking at the facts. What I'm gonna be looking for, we're gonna go over the footage. So this is like mature. I'm streaming it on Twitch, but really I'm just streaming it so I can so I can save it for later. Um, he was shot at. Trump was shot at by AR-15. These are the facts. AR-15 by him alone, and um, Secret Service took him out almost immediately after the shots were fired, and he was killed. and he shot from a distance of 140 to 150 yards, which is about 450 feet. Just for perspective, uh, snipers are trained to think of a threat being viable to up to at least 1,000 yards, 1,000 meters rather, and he was that's like a viable threat up to 1,000 meters, and Trump was shot at by a sniper from a distance of 150 meters, which is 450 feet. Um, but he was also a gun lover. He had trained in a gun range for almost a year. I mean, at least, and he was able to train in that facility in a range up to 170 meters. You know what I mean? So he was able to train at that distance. So he wasn't like an amateur. This was he was prep. He took preparation. He took at least a year to train. You know what I mean, and before he did this, and obviously he failed um, by millimeters. So he was pretty good at shooting. Again, he was shooting an AR-15, um, and yeah, so it's really upsetting. We gonna uncover a lot of things in this video because I think that some people might have gotten wrong. I've been waiting for the facts to come out, and so now I got a better picture. They're also, and now you get to, if you're watching my videos, you get to see it too. This is historical. This is something that is going to be in the course of war. The last time that a president had an assassination attempt on their life was Ronald Reagan in, I think, 1981 or 89 or something like this. Yeah. Or 71. I forgot. But Ronald Reagan was the last president that had an assassination attempt on his life on a hotel, with a man trying to shoot him with a handgun pistol. Um, Secret Service jumped all over that. They do got video of that too. Um, but again, um, this was something that, and of course you could remember JFK, who died in broad day. You know what I mean? And during a parade as well, campaign, and of course you remember RFK, Robert Kennedy, who's RFK's dad, and um, yeah. So RFK Jr. has also commented on this, and he believes that you know he was in the White House. He recalls a lot of things of what happened when his dad died and when his uncle died. When his uncle died first, then his dad died. He remembers all those things. He believes in Secret Service, and he's just glad that Trump's alive and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna be focusing more on the actual shooting. I'm gonna tell you right now that I started immediately looking at the people because I feel as though that every time I think people underestimate, how many people are enemies when they're talking, and people always have to be on their guard. You know what I mean? Especially political, especially in this day and age, this climate. It's nothing new to understand that people are trying to usurp power in this country, And I think now more than ever, it's so clear that what people are willing to do. Um, and because of the technological age and social media, people are desensitized, but also driven to commit crimes, um, brainwashed in a way. I mean, so much propaganda that um, they go down rabbit holes and they align themselves with extreme ideas and that invokes emotion and invokes hatred and stuff like this. Um, when you go down a rabbit hole like of the Democrats, and Hillary and all them, then you can really raise some emotions, you know, and that may align with extremist ideas. So anyway, um, same thing can happen. So yeah, so this kid was 20 years old apparently, you know what I mean, and there might be a picture of him. Obviously, yeah, like this is the picture of him right here. But so he was 20 and whatnot, but like I said, he was trained. He was a gun lover. He was a defective Republican, one time registered, and who hated fascists and believed that Republicans deserved to get their throats slashed. And they also believed that they should all die, right? He was a history major. If that, I mean, in high school, like he was very into history. So anyway, let's look at the crowd, right? Because people described him as shy and loner, um, and so it's it's shocking to a lot of people, but hey, I mean, who knows what he was covering, or who knows what he was believing in. So anyway, let's take a look at this. Well, they're gonna find out. I mean, they're combing his activity. So remember that, guys. You have to destroy everything you did so that they don't find anything. Not just like in general. I mean, um, if the government wanted anything from me, they could plant evidence. Don't really care. If they really wanted to get to me, they could just plant evidence. I say that, but it's true. Okay, so let's look at. Kind of want to know because there's so many reports that say that there was a suspicious man with a rifle. They had seen him, and they had been telling the police. And this was before this moment here, before Trump's ever gets on the actual stage. One second. Hello. All right. Anyway, sorry about that. So, so even before this time, they had already had reports of seeing a suspicious man with a rifle, and yet they still allowed Trump to go on stage. I mean, share what he said. just want to say that this is not about games. It's about politics. So, if, it might be kind of shocking to everybody. People think it's fake. It's fake. Whatever. As you know me, I like to talk real shit on my channel. All right. So feminists they're gonna have a rest day today because today we're talking about politics. But you know what it is. We're gonna talk about real problems here. Real problems, feminists. You know what I mean? Not your victim mentalities. Okay. We're gonna talk about real problems, LGBTQ. Okay, not your victim mentalities. And oh, we're gonna talk about real slaves, real politics, not your victim mentalities, woke ex slaves. Oh, that's so terrible. All right, my bad. What we want to see is suspicious activity. Okay, that is what we're doing here, gathering evidence. So you gotta keep an eye open on all of these, see what's going on. You said back to hell. Oh, health. Look, I have decided to actually follow these debates this time around because there's just way too much at stake at this point. And I know a lot of people are polarized, but either way, I watched the DNC, the first debate. I'm gonna watch the RNC that's today, and pretty much I am trying to stay up with what they're actually saying and what they're promising this time, so I won't be surprised when they actually get elected. You know, I say this because a lot of people in the Latin community, they don't. I don't think they give a shit, and so they just decide to talk and to hate on a candidate without ever knowing what that candidate is standing for. And I feel as though a lot of people don't go to vote, not even in their local government, and they didn't. Like in North Carolina, only 2% of the population went to go vote for its local primaries or whatever. They don't even know the new governor or the new mayor of their town. But 2% went to go vote for local government. They don't know their senators. They don't know their mayors. They don't know their judges. They don't know their congress people. They don't know their um governor. You know what I'm saying? So that or their treasurer, secretary of state, or their do they have a secretary of state? Or the national surgeon? No, not national surgeon. The attorney general. Right. So anyway, what's the deport? Am I for deportation? Not necessarily. This is what I think about deportation. like this is what I really think about deportation. I'm not into mass deportation. What I'm into is for people that have a legitimate reason to be here. And I think that one of the only legitimate reasons is running from certain human rights violations, like in their countries, and that they should only be here if they're facing certain death, torture, or rape. You know what I mean? And I say that because millions poured into this country because of economical reasons, but not of instability, but not a lack of opportunity. Maybe just a lower quality of life. And the people that are truly suffering, like in El Salvador, are being sex trafficked, are being murdered, right? And they were the world's deadliest city in 2020. And they are falling prey to the cartels, being sex trafficked, kids, innocents, women, little girls. Um, they are running for their life. You know what I mean? They're running for their lives, and I'm from that place, that area, and those people, I think, have a case to truly be in this country because they have nothing to lose but their life, right? And they go through hell to come over here, and they're the ones that get refused, and then you'll allow millions of people for economical reasons. So I feel as though that, like, these kids and these people, that should be a case for an American to understand that we should honor their human rights, because that is what we stand for. We don't stand for economical instability and stuff like that. We stand for human rights, right? And that's when people come over from that area, they're wanting somebody to honor their human rights. You know what I mean? That's all. They literally have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? They're facing rape. They were facing rape, death. You know what I mean? Certain and torture. And they have no economical prosperity or opportunity. You know what I mean? So in those cases, right, it should have been an understanding to allow those people coming here simply for, but being able to understand that these people need to assimilate as well to a place that does respect people's life, property, and human rights, including others, right? Because and I think that those things should have been in place instead of what we have now, which is a lack of those things. And that more money, I think, is spent just throwing at building a wall or something, when you could have actually been doing something to prevent violence and to save lives. You know, so that's what I believe in. I believe people should come over here, literally, if they have a reason, a reason that's legitimate. Not an economical reason, but like a reason for, like, a lack of human rights in their home country, a corruption, or something like that. And if that's the case, those problems should be addressed in the political arena between the nation's leaders, and those problems should be fixed. But I still think those people should stay here. You know what I mean? In a way. But when most of the people that come over, they're here for economical reasons. And look, from people that I'm from people that we were like the poorest area of this side of the world, next to like Haiti. A place where the economical whatever was like 100 and something in the list. U.S. is number one. We where our soccer team, we gotta fight niggas from Zimbabwe or some shit. You know what I mean? Before we even try to go to the arena with like Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Even though they can still hold their own, or it's not Zimbabwe, but some other country that's what I'm saying, some Virgin Islands maybe, some Caribbean islands maybe, but You know what I mean? Like it's economical. There's a order, and a list, and where the U.S. is up on top, China, Russia. You got Mexico in the top 10, I think, and you got Salvadorians at and like 101 or 105 or whatever in terms of the whole world of nations, of GDP and economical growth and whatever. So when you have things like that, but there's an disproportionately more amount of people from other countries coming here, and then I don't believe that's like a good thing, or that's like a legitimate reason. I do believe like in refugees from Ukraine and Gaza, for that matter, from Palestine. I believe they deserve to be refugees too, since Israel bombed them because of you. I mean, same thing, or because of us, I should say. So anyway, um, so just as much as Ukrainians deserve to have amnesty, so do um, Palestinians. You know what I mean, that's what I believe. But but I don't believe that economical shit. Everybody trying to get a piece of the pie. I don't believe in that because that is literally what leads to corporate greed in the first place. You know what I mean? And well, no, I don't think that leads to corporate greed. Everybody needs their own. But I also believe when it comes down to that corporate greed is a bigger problem. You know what I mean? Because if this country starts deteriorating, the corporations and the bureaucrats and these other people are gonna sit back and watch us destroy each other. I mean, while they protect their investments and they capitalize on this destruction. Billionaires were able to capitalize during a pandemic. So there was 500 new billionaires created during the time of the pandemic, while small business owners and the lower class and the middle class were suffering, and their businesses shut down. 500 new billionaires were created during the pandemic. So, and they also got corporate tax cut. But thanks to Trump, anyway. Anyway, I don't believe in trickle down economics, but let's move on. That's what I believe about deportation. Or like home of the free, land of the free, home of the brave. You know, those that work hard. You know, because this is the home of the brave. The brave were the people that stand against tyranny. I mean, the land of the free, and those that are free to, you know, but obviously in the religious sense. So anyway, Huh. He even mentions Ronald Reagan. But Ronald Reagan was pro gay people. You know what I mean? I hope that it's not the case. Well, actually, he wasn't, but he ended up helping them because, like, quick fact, right? That's one of the things he did in his presidency is he did a bill for 750 million or 850 million to help gay people study HIV and AIDS because gay people were dying because they were being gay. Uh, it's gonna happen in about a few minutes, maybe in the next minute. You know that he's talking. Uh, like 30 seconds is where the shooting happens. You can even hear in the background that people are saying something. So, for context, right? I mean, I could bring up the other chart. Yeah, let me do that real quick because people might need to understand that. Cut off air. Let's continue. All right. We hear this clearly. Now I know these images are tough, um, but you know, rewind it a little bit. Again, we're scrutinizing people, investigating. In that moment, when the first bullet hit, well, grazed him, then it hit him. Uh, to be able to come up with this shot, he should have been dead. You know what I mean? The It was a skillful shot, and it missed his. Like, there's a vein here near your temple that pretty much like make you bleed out, but it grazed him, and quite frankly, he was supposed to be hit. And what I mean by that is that the shooter was aiming to kill, and he was pretty good, a pretty good shooter, pretty good shot, even at 150, and yet it missed President Donald Trump or ex-president. This guy right here is like one of the most suspicious. But I think he's either plainclothes, Secret Service, but he had the most. Um, he had like the best view, and when that happens, he has the best view. Like, he's in the middle, and he obviously has an earpiece. He's trying to find out where it's coming from. Now, of course, you know this is very frightening scene. The snipers were on the left and on the right. Um, Mostly on the left, and the angle of the bullet was clear coming across literally the way he was facing. You know what I mean, if there's the podium, it's like looking to this corner, and that's going to that. At this point, the shooter had already been put down. I know there was two people injured, but I still haven't seen where they get injured. Somewhere in this area, I believe. This woman, so apparently he had to get his shoes on. This woman right here, I don't know why she might be, you know what I'm saying, I'm not trying to accuse nobody of anything, but it's just why is this woman a Secret Service member? I do not understand. But these days, feminism, you know what I mean? It's I know this is a bad time to say this, but man, feminists, man, you know, they made us feel stupid and they made us to feel dumb and inadequate on our own as to include them in things that we do. But the country's worse than ever. I mean, so I mean, do you think it's not because of feminism? Anyway, they're like, I just want to say though, that it's not about this. It was about in 2008, um, women injected themselves, and they blamed 2008 housing market crisis because they said that the housing market crisis happened because men didn't have women input in the financial sectors in the financial industry. And so, just so we can include them, as to include them in it, and supposedly fix the problems that, just like politics, they say that the things happen bad because there's not women input. Just like all these things because there's not women input. Okay, women have been in politics. We gave them that chance for 10 years. What have they solved? What have they solved? The fucking there's more than trillions of dollars in debt, more than ever. Okay, um, for example, the only reason now is that they keep getting bailed out. They keep adding more to the tab. So I don't really think they've helped any financial sector bullshit. I don't think that's true. I don't know. I don't see it. Um, this protection, police or law enforcement where we have women. I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. Women do not. They should never be cops. They should never be cops or Secret Service people. I'm sorry. They shouldn't. They should be doing something like this, behind the scene on a desk watching, maybe. You know what I mean? But they should not be physically allowed to apprehend people because they're weak, they're trigger happy because they're always in danger. I mean, women are more, they're more um, reactive or something. They're more feisty than men. I mean, and they're willing, like they'll shoot you before. They're quick to shoot you, so they shouldn't be. But whatever. I don't know how she got this job. Whatever. She's so small, and she tries to like grab Trump right here. I mean, but like I said, in the entire nation, I don't think that the inclusion of women has helped. This nation. I think that it's made it worse. Like if you want to you want to criticize me, why don't you criticize women like that abort babies? Cause look, man, I think all of this had like living in this society, having feminism around has given a rise to homos, and has given a rise to promiscuity. The young man that the shooter probably wasn't getting none. He probably he was a loner that got bullied. I mean, he probably wasn't getting none. And there's probably no girl that ever talked to him and shit. Probably was a man who felt like he was inadequate, a man who felt like he was invincible, like not in a good way. You know what I'm saying? A man who probably thought that he'll never have kids and that missed out on a lot of life because women were having sex with everybody except him. Now I don't know if that's the case. I'm just trying to say that the inclusion of women has not helped, and like one of the things that most depresses me as a man are women. I mean, they depress me, man. Like for real. I've been through police brutality, violence of all types, but the things that depresses the most out of men are women, bro. they suck the fun out of everything. And ever since they destroyed the gaming community in Star Wars, what are nerds supposed to do? I mean, what would you like us to do? You know what I mean? You don't allow us you don't have sex with us or attention to us, right? You make fun of us if we're virgins, incel shit. You don't even allow us to watch Star Wars because you had to fucking inject it with feministic propaganda. You ruin gaming and don't allow us to be able to curse and shit. and allowed you canceled people even on this platform, it's just so you can allow the inclusion of women while making us feel like we were sexually objectifying them and that we were monsters for being perverted. Oh my gosh, misogynist, sexually objectifying women. Trying to make us feel guilty, and then you allowed them. They literally waltz into the gaming industry just to become softcore cam girls and fucking prostitute themselves. You know what I mean? You made us feel fucking bad and evil, and then you allow women to do this to themselves. And I'm just trying to say that it's a bit like hard to deal with, as a man. Like, so what exactly would you, I wouldn't listen to women anyway. Like, because listening to women is counterproductive to my life, to my health. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to say that, like, I can't imagine how harder it is for the younger generations these days, because, like, the things that when I was growing up, like marriage, shit, you know, like having shame, you know what I mean, and scandals, and you know what I mean, like having a sense of right and wrong. Like we knew was wrong, you know what I mean, and nowadays because of hoes and hip hop and Kim Kardashian and a bunch of other people, they don't. I think they're desensitized, and they don't understand. Like, they're. I know it's depressing. They can't. I know it's depressing. I know it's depressing. I mean, and you'll be even more depressed afterwards. Like I know you. I know you don't want to rant through as hoe. I know you wish you had a wife and that you could have kids normally and have a household and raise your kids, and that's what people should want. And it shouldn't be just for rich people. This is a first world country problem. You know what I mean? But this is not a third world country. It's not just for rich people. You know what I mean? We are richer just by being here. We're richer than 75% of the world, and yet you allowed millions to come over here, but the people here can't even reproduce. That's just insane. You know what I mean? And allowing all this to just be on women's, you know, um, uh, voluntary or whatever volition. You know what I mean? Is disingenuous. It's not fair. It's unjust. It is a sin. You know what I mean? And it has led these women to become tyrannical in a way. You know what I mean? And I think that's hard for the young man that's growing up. You know what I mean? Because they get called losers for not being hoes, and then it's like they're trying to dig their way to hell, and just keep digging their own graves. And if you're not digging your own grave, then you're called a loser. But if you do it enough, then you might actually succeed and win. So it's just bullshit, you know what I mean? But let's continue. I gotta get that out my chest. So I guess feminists weren't spared today. We got that woman right there, crazy. You know what I mean, she's trying to carry him like a baby or something. I don't know. But all right, but let's be serious here. Let's see, like, let's look around and see if we see anything. I mean, you wonder how a sniper got so close. One, two, got three women. Not knowing what the fuck they're looking at. This bitch don't even know what she's doing. This bitch couldn't even find her holster. Like, she couldn't even get her holster. So she had a look at this shit. Look at this shit. This bitch like turning around like crazy, trying to get him in or whatever, trying to cover or whatever. And one don't know what she's doing. Oh, she finally holstered her weapon. This one couldn't find her holster. She finally found it. I'm like, you got her. This lady with her good. Okay, this guy's trying to look at the crowd. Post the truth. I don't know. I think maybe on that side is where there was a victim. All right. There's that screen that they were talking about. All these people. Yeah, people are cursing out the news channel. Like when I saw this the first time, I'll do my reaction of like how I felt when I saw it the first time. I was like, I can't recreate it, but I was like, is this shit real? Like, holy shit! But then I wanted to know if he had gotten shot. You know what I mean, literally, I got like I was just like serious, you know, trying to like you know shit happened that day. A week after, or the weekend after July 4th. Can you believe it? 9 days after. You're like right there. It's just so crazy, man. It's not right, man. Things like this shouldn't happen in this country. You know what I mean? Like, like I said, I believe in democracy. I believe in voting, but this is not good. It's not right. This is an attack on campaigning. You know, like on our democracy process or voting process or political candidates process. See, this shouldn't happen. You know, we get to pick and choose our own leaders. You know, let's see how it says. He's talking about immigration, man. So it took him about 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds, to completely um, go to kill to return fire. It took him about that long to for the shooter to be killed. That was an extra shot. Dead shot, probably a double tap. See, like when I was seeing this for the first time. Well, first of all, when he first got hit, I was like, I saw his chest right here, and see, like, I'm surprised. I mean, the second shot wasn't going for his chest. You know what I'm saying? And so, I viewed this, and I realized that none of his chest area or nothing was like was hit immediately because and he would have been leaking. Even when he got up. That one shot. You know, like none of these shots hit him. You know what I mean? So powerful image, man. I've watched it already, like a lot of times. The first time I was literally like, did he get hit? And I just saw that he didn't get hit. Then when he got up as well, like it's the blood. There's a photographer somewhere. Yeah, like right here. Like when you see he still has the white on his chest on his shirt, then you realize he's not shirt. He's not hit. He's not leaking. But he was like up here. See? Maybe they get the girl because she is smaller. She can like be a like cover him his chest area again. I'm not sure. I don't know. You take him off. I mean, take him away. So yeah, he was 20 years old. The shooter. So there was one dead, one injured, and the man that died. jumped on top of his family, trying to shelter them, and he was hit. The second person was just injured. The shooter was 20 years old, Thomas Matthew Crooks. He was a recent graduate who was also a gun lover, a defective Republican. He had registered one time, but you know he was the he was a white boy with a gun. He fit the stereotype of the mass national shooter or the national mass shooter. White boy loner, um, gun lover. I mean, even the Republican part, and and that's what he was. You know, a lot of people. I see the comments at this time. We're gonna read the comments now. See if y'all can see it of what people might are like. Are saying. Um, People were going insane. A lot of people no were surprised at this. I didn't even think it was real. And when this started going like viral, well, all over the news, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was just everywhere. But as you can see, there's people that you know. The first comments were like, "What the fuck?" OMG. You'll see them in a little bit. No, no. People really stopped commenting. It was just a matter of time, but they missed. What the fuck? A lot of people do believe that it's been coming, and that it's gonna continue. They still want to do them. WTF? 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 Wow. What the fuck? Or WTF? Clown emojis. Wow. Was he hit? Looks like. I don't know what happened. This is Forbes, by the way, that was watching this. That streamed this. Don't know what happened. So he only spoke for like less than 10 minutes. He was bleeding. Unbelievable. Sean Combs. I don't really think it's really him. Wonder if it was really him. Unbelievable. I feel as though unbelievable. Free United States of America from the Antichrist. Apocalypse chapter 6. All prayer warriors. What happened to Trump? Daniel chapter 11, verse 37. Um, let's just read. Let's just read what those are. So Apocalypse chapter 11. I don't know why they put that flag. Whatever. Chapter 11, verse 37. Apocalypse is actually Revelations chapter 11, verse 37. Um, verse 37, which is, well, there is no verse 37. Maybe 3 to 7. Now, understand this. Let's read Revelation 11, since somebody wanted to bring it up. Never mind. It's chapter 6. He said. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed it with him. Power was given unto them for the fourth part of the world, earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Nah. Just not know how that fits. But I wish to the end of this. If let's just read Revelation 6. I'll just read it. And I saw when a lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and the crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. When he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." When he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw until under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God, and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, "How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?" And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also, and their brethren that should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Right. Yeah. Then this person says Daniel chapter 11, verse 6. So let's see what they're trying to say here. Chapter 11, verse 6. Some people don't believe in reading the Bible. Oh, and if you know, I am religious. I do believe. And, yeah. All right. Verse 6. What was it? Verse 37. It says, neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. Excuse me. But in his taste shall he honor the God of forces, and the God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver, and with precious stones and pleasant things. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory. He shall cause him to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. People are saying FJB. Those are the snipers. Hey, lefties want a war. Let's do it. He was shot. No Simpsons. It's a dangerous game to play. Now we know what to do. We have to do with the deep state. They'll assassinate him because they cannot win. Obama goons trying to kill Trump. Assassinations are the CIA MO. I'm not worried about gun regulations yet. Let's go. We ain't gonna just let this happen. MAGA is not worried about gun regulations. Like at this time, they didn't know who it was. You know what I mean? And now they do. I wonder how they feel because so it's a loner white boy, a defective Republican. See this reaction that the people have is the reason why we got involved in 9/11. You know what I mean? Because of this type of reaction. You know what I mean? And it's like it's I mean it's a time where you gotta you know I mean shit. You can imagine how many people you know want to do damage to others. You know what I mean? They already got like a list. You know, I never really kept the list. But you know what I mean. People at this time it's like prayers to make sure he's okay. Make get the facts. You know what I mean? They say the Simpson is accountable. They say Democrat. They said hit. It's CIA. Even the CIA. Blaming the CIA. Assassinations of the CIA MO. Um, you can officially refer to anyone who's still bowing to their orange false idol as those who worship evil mites. The Biden regime. Okay, so you can play at this game. Say corrupt people are after him. Illegals must be deported immediately. That's what he was talking about. Man, um, corrupt people left and deep state globalist commies stepping into to destroy America. Biden's thugs. Dems and elites. Biden's illegals. Damn. I don't. I mean, pray for his recovery and not whatnot. But other people have a lot of hatred to others. Can't blame them. Dim radicals. God's punishment for breaking out 10 commandments. Oh, shut up, man. This guy freaking just sold his soul. Dumb. Supposedly. Those are demons. I can't believe he said that. Wow. You know, you know, um, a lot of people have been trying. Like that first night, I couldn't sleep because I felt like these people were literally condemning us for that shit. I mean, it's kind of fucked up. And what Okay, think about who would cause this, right? And let's order them up of suspects. List of suspects. I know they caught the shooter, but I just still want to know because if I mean it's just motherfuckers. They don't understand that what they're causing is more damage. I mean, bunch of stupid motherfuckers. Anyway, who would I think would do it? CIA, deep state, the radical left, um, the elite. I don't think so. That's more of a that's more for RFKJR. You know, that's a more suspect for RFKJR. They need to get him service immediately. Um, who else? Let's say it's some illegal, um, legal terrorist, because that could be possible with all the millions of people that have come here. Um, um, he was talking about that too. He was talking about legals. Um, obviously, who else? Who hates Trump? Oh, his own people. So I would say um, Republican. I'm gonna say right wing imperialist. You know, like right wing paramilitary death squads. I know they say like the Proud Boys. I know they say they're with him, but I don't give a fuck. They could be trying to off him for changing some views or something. I don't know. Um, who else? Like I said, the Secret Service or someone within, like a rogue agent, right? And that could just mean like anybody that works for the government, a traitor, um, a traitor and a rogue agent are different, but essentially the same thing, but different. Because a traitor could be somebody feeding information to somebody else, working double spy or something. A rogue agent could just be like turning against, not necessarily working for somebody else. Um, but those, I don't think that's highly unlikely. Um, political opponents, and could be Jeffrey Epstein because he's not dead. He didn't kill himself. I don't know, or somebody else that was on Jeffrey Epstein's list. I mean, like because he had a lot of political powers. You know, a bureaucrat. Because again, more of a enemy for JFK Jr. than Trump. So you got all these people, and at the end of the day, it was an average mass shooter. At the end of the day, it was a national mass shooter. I mean, a loner boy from their own town, from their own state, that worked in a nursery home, that flipped his switch. Or I don't know if that it's a good thing or I don't know what happened. Um, yeah, who he was it? Who was the actual shooter? Thomas Matthew Crooks. And Thomas Matthew Crooks was a defective Republican. Well, he was 20-year-old. A 20-year-old defective Republican who hated fascists and Republicans, and believed they should get their throats slashed. What did y'all do to this young man? No, that's not a joke. I'm sorry. But something must have happened to this cat, and for him to have this much hatred. So, who hated fascists and Republicans? Gun lover. He had a gun uh, membership. Membership to a gun range where he practiced and he hunted. He was a hunter, wore camo. Um, he was academically bright. Worked in a nursery home. And so that's who he was. So, mass shooter, it is. It was like I said, Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20-year-old defective Republican who hated fascists and Republicans, a gun lover with a membership of a gun range where he practiced sniping. He wore hunter camo. He was academically bright, and he worked at a nursery home. Okay, there you go. Oh, needless to say, he was Caucasian. Right. And goes to show, man. That's who it was. No, so the shooter was. So all the people could have been. It was mass shooter. He fit the archetype. Loner, young, white male with a gun enthusiast. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. He was a gun and explosive enthusiast. He had a shirt from a YouTube channel. So he's a gun and explosive enthusiast. He was an American. About American, he was the American youth, the conservative. American youth. Can you imagine that? Not usually they get with right wingers. Not this guy. But there's also something to say about the fact that he got so close. So, who is it a Secret Service ploy or members um, of his political party, the local police, or others that might have um, played a part in this assassination attempt? I mean, they gotta investigate it. I gotta let them think. I'm letting them think. Gosh. Anyways, sorry for thinking. So that's what it is. So I don't want to be like Ben Shapiro or Charlie Kirk, who don't really give you the news. They they're biased influencers. Uh, they're just the facts. It wasn't a brown person. It wasn't an illegal or that tried to do this. I think they're that stupid. Um, but definitely a rhetoric from many Americans that don't like Donald Trump, and I'm not exactly partial, but seeing how much things he's gone through, um, including the media campaign smears or smear campaigns, the joking from the his political and lack of respect from political adversaries or like from the other political parties. Um, Also, the court cases against him. The ones for um, during his presidency, and the one from Stormy Daniels, and the one for him allegedly raping or molesting a secretary. Going through all that shit, and then also January 6th. I mean, voter election fraud. I think was one of the charges. All of this crap. I mean, that he's been through. I mean, getting locked up, going to court, all this stuff in the air, in the open, and he's still trying. He's still fighting. So you um, and there's probably a lot more I don't know. I mean, those millionaires, they know a lot of things. He's probably more cool with these guys. I think he's cool with the right wing imperialists. You can, I don't know, man. It's weird. Anyway, guys, that's all I have. Um, I surprised, but that's what I do. A lot of people say that Salvadorians shouldn't vote for him because of what he did. I don't care that he called El Salvador a shithole country. What I cared about is, like I said, it's just it's a problem that no president feels is like they haven't been able to solve this problem. You know what I mean, so basically, like I said, I feel as though that's the only thing I don't see eye to eye with him for, other than trickle down economics because I know they don't work. But other than that, I wouldn't care. You know what I mean, about this other stuff. Like I agree with him on trying to keep religion in schools. I agree with him on you know letting males have some type of control over their families, and more conservative, ideals and virtues, um, and their kids, um, yeah. So I believe in that. I mean, I you. But when it comes down to that, I believe that the government shouldn't be making any type of progressive laws, and if it does, it should be based in truth and or religion. Like in other words, be clear, like not condemning the sinners, but not empowering them. You know what I mean? Because we're all there's no good and bad. I mean, we're all humans. The only thing good is God, right? And so, you know, I don't think they should promote sinful things like gay people or feminism. You know, because feminism, sexual liberation leads to the crumbling of a society. Like, we want you to wear your clothes. We don't want you out here half naked, distracting all the men, and then, driving them crazy. Y'all drove them crazy. You know what I mean? Because y'all keep, sexualizing yourself, wearing makeup, looks, all this stuff. You drove them crazy. You know what I mean? And they're desensitized. That's why there's so much bad things out here. And with men, there is order. When you tell your wife, "I'll beat your ass," no, I'm just playing. But you wear a long dress, you wear something to cover that up, right? Then it's a way of keeping order because you know that other guys will look at your wife, and you're trying to coexist with these other guys in this society without having to fucking wet them up, without having to kill nobody. And cheating women don't understand it. So they really make it a living hell. And not to mention all the sinning. So, you know, like, it's just like a society as a whole. Men are more dangerous than women, and men need to be kept in order. And it's beneficial for us as a society to have order. You know what I mean? And that means respecting men's boundaries and rights and shit. That means being upright and decent, respectful. Like these young hoe ass kids don't know, and male or female, they don't know how to respect men, boundaries. Like, I gotta explain it to you. Like, I don't share my wife. I'm not a cuck. Okay, my girl isn't for all of y'all to motherfuck get in line and have your turn. I mean, that's not what it's for. You know what I mean? I would have wet you up in the crime if I was crazy and I was in the crime of passion. That's what usually happens. A lot of people die for a lot less. Not that I would have done it because I have self control and I've never as so much punched or slapped a woman, and pretty much they have just been allowed to do whatever. I offer girls love and stuff like that. They're not into that. I offer them trying to start a family, devotion, and they're not into that. I don't know what they were to. I think they're into money and fame. You know what I mean, so that's immoral. So I don't know why they protect them. But anyway, um, I'm just trying to say because the youth, right? They're the future, and I don't think they're living in a good environment. But these things, I am optimistic, and then I'm an idealist in a way, but I'm also a realist in a way. Um, yeah. So how do I blame women? Because if the dude was getting some pussy, shit, why would he care? But he probably doesn't get no pussy, doesn't have no friends. Um, grew up trying to do the right thing, where everybody is doing the whole thing, and he probably just got sick of it. You know, probably got. I don't know. Can't tell you, but I can tell you how depressing it is. You know, as a male, and I can't imagine how it is for even the younger generations. I mean that they have to grow up in next to their counterparts who are narcissistic people who are on the internet. You know what I mean, and they learned those things. I mean, and all the cheating and feminism. Oh hell no! I mean, they never had a chance. You know what I mean, what do they got to lose? Um, but yeah, sad. But I can tell you that it must be harder for them. Um, if if I didn't allow myself to get punched and let it go, if I didn't allow myself to show the other cheek, if I didn't understand that, then I'd be an extremist too. You know what I mean? I'd there'd be a whole bunch of dead people in my life. You know what I mean? This would have gone down a long time ago. But I learned to turn the other cheek every other week. What does that mean? That I get beat up and I go back to school and I don't tell nobody and I don't even snitch and I just let it go and I just try to avoid them. And when I see them, I forgive them. If they come and tell me, you know what I mean, I'm like, that's fine, whatever. Turn the other cheek. And that's what. Like, you want to know about 9/11? I covered 9/11. I think. I mean, I didn't cover it, but I've talked about it on my channel. Um, during 9/11, right? One of the things that I witnessed was the American public wanting to, you know, go after their enemies. Blind rage, directing hate, and all this stuff. And you know, during that time, um, I was like a kid. You know what I mean? And I didn't really understand much. I didn't understand the difference between, you know, all the Middle East. geographically speaking. And well, I saw a girl that wear a hijab in class, and it's like, you know, like this is the only time that they stood out. She stood out for me. I mean, like like she was normal, but then I felt like I don't know, maybe she felt a little sad. So, um, whatever. I was just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But when I realized when I'm older that we plunged ourselves into this world war because we wanted revenge, and you know they got it. I mean, we got it. In that war, we killed hundreds of thousands, and most of them, I would like to say or believe that they were terrorists or they were mujahideen, trying to jihad, but it's because it was like an invasion on their lands. Although we were establishing a democratic rule, but whatever. The point is that during that time, the people's sentiment was to go and you know after the bad guys. You know what I mean? And to the point of just like bomb them, all that shit. And they did. And they killed, like, there are statistics that the U.S. did. Just because I see that people have the same sentiment, and so I'm just kind of sharing the way that I think, my mentality. It's like when the U.S. did that to them, um, they killed about 80 times more people than those that died in the World Trade Center, and they wasted um, about the same amount of money in the war that it would have cost to rebuild the World Trade Center as it was, like 40 times. I mean, so like they could have rebuilt the World Trade Centers 40 times, and they could have killed the people, or they killed 80 times more people. So like overkill, and those things, by the way, have added to our economic distress now, 20 years later, 10 years later, whatever. You know what I mean? And those economic problems from my generation, I mean, are are evident. I mean, and even the younger kids, the other generations, there's been said that they will be the first generation of the U.S. that will experience a lesser quality of life than the generation before them. Like they will not be able to own a home. You know what I mean? You see the prices of the houses? You know what I mean? Comparatively to the minimum wage. I mean, whatever. I'm small, whatever. My channel might not be that big, whatever. Big things come in small packages. Great things. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah. As far as the sentiment that people have, um, like people think right now, bro, it's just gonna get it might get crazy, man. You know, I don't really want to say this, but sometimes I feel like these people will come in mob one day and use it as an excuse to do these things to innocent people or to people that they believe are guilty. I don't know. There is no good and bad. The only thing good is God. Um, so yeah, I mean Satan's bad, but that has to do with God. The only thing there is no good, good God. Okay, but like yeah, I couldn't sleep. I just feel like a lot of people have a lot of hatred and see what's gonna go on. And you still gotta remember like we're not in a good time right now with other countries. This is tragic. Okay, so that's enough. But that's what it was about the shooting. In case the people didn't know, and in case you wanted to, I didn't find any people, well, out of the ordinary.